Episode 2, baby!
Let's fucking go!
Alright, so... Alright, we're gonna start off, so... I want to say this podcast is gonna be a little bit deeper than last time. The topics and what we're talking about is just gonna be a little bit deeper than last time. Not too deep, because we'll get into that later, but a little bit deeper than last time. So, you know that TikTok that you just showed me?
Yeah, so I just pulled up a TikTok. It's this guy I watch all the time. He's this mentor. He's like 21. He lives in Miami. His name's Alex. And he's like, he provides me with a ton of information. And he's someone who I watch like probably every single day, just like to get my day going. He gives like a lot of advice on working, money, just being like the better you. And he gives just a ton of information like that. He came up with this thing. He basically just talks about a bunch of self-improvement. So he was talking about how he works every single day, and he feels like he should just enjoy his life, like while he's young, and basically he's making a shitload of money, doing a lot of things with stock and crypto, and he wants to enjoy his life. He doesn't want to keep on working and just seeing like the numbers on his phone go up. He doesn't want to just work his balls off and like just not do the things he wants to do while he's young.
Yeah, so essentially what he's saying is like, you know, if your goal is to make a lot of money, great. If you don't want to make as much money, you know, the amount of money that you want to make is different for everyone, and whatever it is, that's cool. But so for him, is he wants to make a lot of money, and he wants to spend a lot of it being able to do, so basically spending his money so he can have the experiences he wants while he's young. And instead, so he's not waiting till, because, you know, the norm might be to, oh, you know, make a lot of money when you're younger and then save it up till when you're 65 and then you can spend it going on vacation and stuff then. But, like, the way I see it, it's like, you know, you could save up all your money and wait till you're 65 and then, like, go on vacation and stuff. But it's like, bro, I'm not going to, like, be able to go zip lining and mountain climbing and all these beautiful places when I'm 65.
He shows, like, a bunch of stuff. Like, since he lives in Miami, there's a lot of things to do on the water. So, like, he shows him, like, on boats, having parties on the boats, going to different clubs and, like, jet skiing and doing a bunch of things while he's young so he can have fun.
Yeah,
and just live in the moment, you know?
And you got to figure out what, essentially, what fun is to you and what activities you want to do, because everything's different for everyone. You know, he might enjoy that going out all the time and stuff, and some other people might enjoy just having a hobby and doing that by themselves or building that with someone else. You know, everything's different for everyone, and you just got to figure out what that is.
Yeah, like if I was making that money, I'd go fucking skydiving right away. Just fucking something insane that like I wouldn't do obviously when I'm older, because say I can't do that. I wouldn't think like at 80 years old, I jump off the plane, my heart just fucking stops, and I'm just gliding down, and I'm just like, you know.
Yeah. So you know, the moral of that is, you know, make the money you want to make, and in the process, you know, it's important to save money so that when you are older and you can invest and then have your money make yourself more money, but also don't save 100% of it so that you can't enjoy your life now.
Yeah, the saying is save a little, spend a little.
Right.
So
that's important.
I mean, obviously, like, I want to get into, like, a lot of crypto things and stock things, because I know that's basically the future of, like, us. Like, I heard that they're going to start stuff with internet. Like, there's going to be their own internet for crypto. Like, they're going to make their own, like, services. It's not going to be, like, Google, Safari, or whatever. It's going to be, like, they're going to have their own services with crypto.
Yeah, I heard about that. I don't know much about that, but yeah.
So, like, if you get ahead and you make money, if you're working now, like, as a teenager or something, and you're just working at a restaurant or, like, delivering or whatever you're doing, just save that money and put it into, like, stocks. So then, like, in 10, 20, 30 years, it will double or triple. Like, if you put in, like, your money now into, like, the crypto and stuff, and the stuff and everything just goes up, you're gonna be like set for your future. You can make like millions. It's insane.
Right. Okay. And then what was that? And then that other video that was pertaining to like relationships, kind of. So I think what he was essentially saying in his video is I don't think he was like. I think he was like talking about teenagers. I don't think he wasn't saying it from an anti-relationship perspective, meaning like don't like make sure you don't get into a relationship. You shouldn't get into a relationship. Period. But what he was essentially saying is build yourself up and build yourself up first. And start making the money you want to do and building the hobbies and the habits that you want to do, and then get into a relationship, because that's ultimately what's going to serve you. And the way he said it sounded a little bit like he was like, you shouldn't get into a relationship. But it's like
Well, I mean, like relationships can distract you from a lot of things that you want to do,
and it depends on the person.
Yeah, I mean, if you have like a great connection with the person that you're talking to, and you feel like you can kind of do things together. In that sense, like having productive conversations, going to the gym together, or just making money. Like, say like you guys, you have that person with you and you're like, oh, I kind of want to start a business, and they actually are into that stuff, then you guys could make money together. But I believe that like right now, not everybody's on that, obviously not everybody's on that track of like self-improvement, and people are just partying now because they're kids and whatever. Obviously, like, that's fun and everything. I love to do that shit. But it comes a point in time where you kind of have to be serious with your life. Like, not just going to school, coming home, and doing, like, jack shit, and then on the weekends partying and hanging out with your friends. Because that all ends soon. And starting now is, like, very important. Because if you don't start now, like, you don't know when you'll ever start.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's good to look at your life in perspective and then balance those things, because going out and partying and stuff like that is fun, and then you also have to focus on yourself and the people who are really close to you. So the balance is really important.
And also, you obviously have to have relationships with people who support you. It's always good to have that one person or multiple friends or family just to kind of support you and make you better as a person. Because if you're just hanging around like the same kids and they're not helping you or supporting you or giving you advice or kind of just supporting you as a person, you're going to be hanging out with them now, you're going to be having fun, you're going to be doing whatever you're doing with them, and then you're going to go to college, or say you don't go to college or you go to the military or something like that. You're not going to be talking to those people anymore. And it's just kind of like a waste, I feel like. I mean, obviously, like, it's fun and, like, you have your friends and whatever, but it comes a point in time where those people kind of just, they shift out of your life and they just kind of, like, disappear. Obviously, like, you can reconnect in the future, maybe, but you need those people to, you need people to kind of just guide you in a sense, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there's, everyone has different opinions on that, and there's definitely, again, a balance between how much time you spend with those friends who are just fun to hang out with, and then those friends who you can build something with. So there's a good median to figure out how much time you should be giving to them and them.
Yeah, like, I think you, like, it's, like, necessary to have people who can kind of talk to you in the way, like, we talk to each other. Because if you don't have that, you're not going to know how to, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
right.
You don't know how to, like, when you're older, you won't have, like, that mindset, you know?
Yeah, so when you have someone like that, it's important to make sure you guys stay in each other's lives for as long as you can. But, if, not everyone has the opportunity or the privilege to have someone like that. Like, when I first, do you remember when I first started, like, my self-improvement journey? Like, it was like, I don't know, halfway through freshman year of high school, right?
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of stuff I was doing, and I started to improve myself, and I had some of these habits, which I'm not going to touch, a specific one I'm not going to touch on today. We'll touch it on another episode, because there's a lot of information on that. But there were certain habits I was doing, applying to my life, and improving myself, and most of my friends, it was stuff I was researching and applying to my life, and it was helping me. So I went up to my friends, and I was like, yo, guys, I'm doing this, and it's really helping me. You guys should try it. And, some of the stuff is, like, stuff that isn't the norm. So what my friends would do was they would laugh at me, and they would literally be like, "Bro, that's so stupid. Why are you even doing that?" And what was
they'd be like, "You want a medal? You want a medal for doing that?" Like,
and the important part for me and for any of us is when we are focusing on something that we genuinely enjoy and we believe is helping ourselves. No matter what anyone else says, like take advice from people, of course. But if you're doing your shit and they're like, no, bro, that's stupid. It doesn't matter what they say. Keep doing your stuff, and that's what I did. Everyone kept making fun of me, but I kept doing my stuff. And guess what? A year down the line, multiple of my friends are now doing what I was doing then. So it's important to keep on your track, and if people join you, they do. If they don't, they don't.
Well, people mature differently. Like obviously, like you were more mature than most of our friends when you were in freshman year, and now they kind of grew to see what you were talking about, did their own research, and like you were kind of ahead of the game. Like for instance, me and you, I find that we're a little more ahead than maybe some of the people who are in our grade or whatever. It doesn't matter. They'll get to that point too. Don't compare yourself to other people, obviously, because well, it's not obvious, but like I have a lot of trouble with that. Like obviously, like seeing people who are kind of like okay, so like in the gym, like if people are bigger than me, like I used to like really look at that a lot, but honestly, it really doesn't matter because no matter what, everyone's nice. Everybody like will help you out no matter what. Like you find like great connections with people, and getting back to like obviously maturing, the shit that me and Brad do now. I have a cousin named Jesse, and the things that I tell him that I do, when he was our age, he wasn't even on that path yet. He just didn't even like think about the things that we think about right now.
Right.
Like we're just kind of like I feel like we're a little bit ahead of the game, you know?
I mean, you could put it that way in a sense maybe, but I see it as just the stuff we're focusing on is different than some other people. Mm-hmm. And some other people, like not everyone messes with this type of stuff, and that's fine. But like there's some people out there who aren't into this stuff now, but like they hear it and they hear us saying it, they're like, "Oh, I'm actually interested in this. This is what I want. This is what I need." And then they hop on that. So yeah, that stuff's important, and the gym's really helpful with that type of stuff.
It really helped me grow like as a person, to be honest. Like, right when I started going to the gym, I felt like people were gonna look at me. People were judging me for who I am, like not who I am, just the way I appear myself. Like obviously, like I was a little bit insecure because like I was really skinny, and I felt like I was just like gonna be in there, and everybody was gonna look at me. But honestly, everyone just minds their business. No one actually cares about that. And if you were to ask someone, oh, can I get in your set, or like whatever you do in the gym, like nobody judges you. Everyone's so nice.
Yeah, I kind of had that. I feel like a lot of us fear to get into the gym because we're afraid of what we look like at first. Like, I used to be, like, super skinny, so I was, like, afraid of people thinking I was too skinny and stuff like that. But everybody starts somewhere, and really, seriously, no one judges you. And you might think people do, but they really don't. People are just focusing on their sets, their workout, and then you make eye contact with some people, and then you meet people, and stuff's cool. Like, for example, let's say take someone who's like somebody who's overweight might be scared like to start going to the gym because they're like, oh, everyone's gonna look at me because I'm overweight and blah blah blah. You know what I think when I see someone who's overweight in the gym? I go,
that's fucking awesome.
I go, that's awesome. This guy is overweight and he's accepting that, and he's like, yo, I want to make a change in my life, so now I'm going to the gym and I'm improving myself. I look at a fat guy in the gym. I say to myself, good for you, bro. Good for you.
Yeah.
Like I feel happy for people like that. I don't think anybody, if somebody looks at a fat guy in the gym and he thinks, oh, this guy's fat, ha ha ha, you're a scumbag. Yeah. But seriously, when I see someone who's fat and he's in the gym or she's in the gym, like that's awesome. I think that's great.
Judging people is the worst quality ever. Like, obviously, like, we all may obviously at one point think like that, and it's not a good quality because you don't know who people are or what they're going through. Because, like, if you're just gonna judge someone on their outside appearance or how they present themselves in public, you and like you don't talk to them or communicate them like to them like and like what they really feel inside, you don't know them for who they are. Like, obviously, me and Brad had our differences before, and we looked at each other in that kind of way. But once we found the connection between us, we were able to talk to each other and then kind of feel for who we are. Because obviously, some people think of me in a terrible way. Because, like, I don't know, like maybe people see me in like a different way than other people. Like, some people may be like, "Oh, Jack's very generous," because like they know me for who I am, and then others may see me and be like, "Oh, this kid looks like a douchebag." You know, like everyone thinks differently, but they don't really know what's going on because they don't have the right communication with the person.
Right.
You know, because obviously, like that's where problems stem from. If you have a friend and you kind of present yourself in a way, and they kind of see you in that aspect, that's what they're gonna think of you as. And but if you sit them down and you go and talk to them, and you're like, hey, what's going on? I kind of see us like stuff going on, and like I don't know like how you feel. Like, can we talk? Like, if you can do that and you can talk to that person and kind of have show your emotions, and then they can show theirs, it's kind of like it will help you in like the future. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So first off, I find it really funny. Well, not funny. It's just it's so crazy to see how essentially everybody's kind of living in a different reality in the sense of what people think about you. Mm-hmm. So like what you just said, somebody may think you're generous, and then a different person thinks you're an asshole, and it's so weird because those people have different perspectives of you, and they both truly believe that. So you're literally, so to the person who thinks you're generous, you are literally that person to them.
Yeah.
And then to the person who thinks you're an asshole, you're that person. Those are two
like so
different
like
people.
if that person who thinks I'm generous looks at me or like sees me, they'll be like, oh my god, like they'll have like that type of personality towards me, and then like if that the other person thinks like I'm an asshole, they'll look at me weird, and like their whole like they'll have the body like
Body
expressions, and like they'll like their whole personality would just like kind of shift
Yeah.
and form into like this ball of either hatred or love
Yeah.
towards the person.
And touching on what you just said before about I just lost it. Oh, about like communicating with each other and your feelings and your thoughts about certain things. That's what keeps relationships between people real. Because especially in high school, and a lot of people our age, and even people who are older, which is sad to see to me, I feel like people who are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s...
People change.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is some people who are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s are still acting like they're in high school, and they're still doing this drama and all this bullshit. So,
yeah.
What's important is to be real with each other, because there's a lot of people who are in high school, teenagers our age, and they're not real with each other. Like, they're just like... They act a certain way towards Jimmy.
Jimmy.
They're like, they act all cool with Jimmy, and they're like, oh, Jimmy, what's up, man, blah, blah, blah. And then they walk past him 5 seconds later and say to their friend, yo, that kid's a loser. Like, that's stupid to me. You're not being real. And there's no point in that. And in that case,
it's I'd like say school friends.
In that case, I'd say don't even talk to Jimmy. Don't even say shit to him. But essentially, what I'm saying is, be real with people, because when you're real to people, like, a lot of people are afraid of opening up to people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us have trust issues because of like things like that. And if you are real with someone, then that gives them the opportunity and the choice to open up to you. And in most cases, if you're real to someone, that person is going to be real back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they might not even be even conscious
of
it, but they're just going to do it.
It's crazy because you can have friends for years and still don't know what they're going through because you just don't talk like that. You don't have the communication with them. So they can be going through things, or you can be going through things, and you just show yourself as a happy person, but really inside you're either super sad or depressed. and you just don't know how to express yourself or talk to the person next to you, or the person that's like you've been friends with forever. They've always been there for you. You just never.
And it's
Talk
like
to them.
it's like you guys talk about or hang out and focus on like certain stuff that doesn't really allow you guys to truly connect with each other. I think the perfect example of this was I have a friend Alex, and we were friends. We've been friends for years and years, and we used to always play video games together and just hang out and talk about that stuff. And then one day we hung out, and I asked him like a question about like the concept of like the universe and stuff like that, and he gave me an answer and a sort of like spiritual answer, and that's when I was first getting into spirituality and stuff. I was like, damn, this guy that I've been friends with for years is into this stuff, and I'm into it too, and we never even knew it. And then that just built a whole nother connection with each other.
Yeah,
and just
branches
that,
the tree.
and just yeah, and that communication with each other just allows you to form a whole new relationship that you never knew could have existed.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about, like, because you could be friends with someone and you could have went through, say, like, you went through some type of depression and you had your ways of kind of overcoming it, and your friend is dealing with it at the moment, and they just don't have they kind of just want to keep things to themselves so they don't say anything to you, but that kind of like affects them because like they obviously don't know what you're going through because you guys don't have the communication. But if that person who has depression kind of was open and told that person, maybe their life would become better because that other person would have advice on how to overcome it.
Yeah. And depression's a really tricky thing because I went through that. I used to be on meds and stuff a few years ago and stuff like that. And depression's a little bit different for everyone, but it's for a lot of people it's difficult to talk about it. It's difficult to open up to it. I know I never wanted to talk about it with anyone, but at the same time, if I tried to open my mind a little bit, then it definitely would have helped me because it was at the point where there were people around me who were willing to help me and were trying to, but I just wasn't letting them. So the important thing, and something that's not even as severe as depression, just like normal day problems and stuff, if you let people in or give them a chance to help you, they might really be able to help you.
Yeah. And if they judge you, they're not real friends and they
Yeah.
can go fuck themselves.
Essentially.
So, like, it's also like with like school friends and stuff like that. Like, you see people in school and you'll be like, yo, you'll talk to them for whatever in class, and then right when you get out of school, nothing. They don't talk to you. Or like, say you have a good conversation with somebody in school or anywhere, and you're like, oh, just over the weekend, if you're doing anything, or if you're not busy, or like you go to a party or something, just let me know, you know? And then if they don't like say anything back, like the type of person they are. I mean, maybe they forget, but like if your connection with them was like so important, like they enjoyed the conversation, I feel like they kind of think about that.
I mean, it depends, I mean, a lot of us have, like, these different friend groups in high school and stuff, and, adapting and going into a new one and hanging out with new people, like, especially since we're towards the end of high school, like, it's a weird thing to some people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just, it's interesting. That's what it is. And I want to touch on, like, going back to, like, the present moment type stuff. I know we focus on like meditation a little bit like last episode, so I don't want to talk about it as much, but that's definitely a habit that really gets you into the moment. And I don't remember if I touched on this last episode, but it's like the present moment is literally the only moment any of us have. And the future is, you can think about it as much as you want and dream about it and stuff, but once the future comes, it's going to be right now. And then your past sure shaped you to who you are, but it's gone. And and there's no and a lot of our anxieties and worries come from either overthinking about the past or overthinking about the future. And what a lot of us fail to do is we're so caught up in the daily grind of school and whatever we do throughout our daily lives. We're so focused on just doing that and doing this stuff over and over again that we fail to take a moment to step out of our minds and into the moment. Because if I notice when I'm so caught up in everything, and sometimes it's good to get like that grind in and you like get shit done, but at the same time it's important to take a step out of your mind, because if I'm doing that and then I get all stressed and stuff, and then I catch myself and I'm like, wait, you hear that silence? It's like this moment right now, this is what's really real, and then you get into that moment for a minute, and then all of your stress and anxiety, or if not all of it, most of it just disappears. Because if you forget about all of your problems, all of what you need to do in your life, all of your habits, and you just sit in the present moment for a minute, you just instantly realize that all of your worries about the future, the past, and right now, none of it even really exists. It's all in your mind.
It's like basically you say you like people a lot of people are addicted to their phones. And this comes in topic because people avoid they avoid silence and thinking about the moment or the present because they'll be like, "Oh, I'm bored. Let me just grab my phone and go on TikTok or Snapchat or Instagram because I'm bored." But they can't people I feel like people can't just sit there and kind of just take a moment. They just avoid it because they have those distractions.
Right, and I'm definitely a victim of doing that.
So am I.
And
But I know that I have to improve on that, and that's something that I've been really focusing on. Like every day when I wake up now, I've been trying to just obviously I need my phone for my alarm clock. I turn off my alarm clock. I put my phone in my pocket, and I do everything, and I get all my shit done, and then I go on my phone. I don't go on my phone right when I wake up. I don't go to sleep and then just be like, my phone. Oh my god. You know?
Yeah, that's one of the worst things you can do is wake up right in the morning and then go check something like social media.
Yeah.
Like, take a moment, like, if
just stare at your ceiling for a moment, just okay, I'm waking up. Just need to brush my teeth, do my hair, take a shower, whatever. Eat some breakfast. Do whatever you have to do in your house, and then once you get all your things done, then you can go on your phone.
And also, like, getting into the present moment with every single thing that you do is, like, important. So, like, everything you do, whether it's just, like, a simple habit, like brushing your teeth or taking a shower, like, if you get in the present moment and you just analyze everything that you're doing, it makes it just, instead of it just being, like, a habit, you're just, like, doing it to do it, and it's, like, whatever, like, you actually feel what you're doing, and you're, like, experiencing it in the moment.
Also, like, taking showers. I've been lately taking cold showers, and I find that you have once if you're having cold showers for the first time, it's like you have that mindset like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this any longer. Like, and then like to avoid those thoughts, some people, or even if you're having a hot shower, you put on music. I think that I don't take showers with music because first of all, if I'm doing that, I'm gonna get distracted with the music and I'm gonna be in the shower too long. And second of all, I'd rather be in my own thoughts when I'm in the shower. I could think about things that are like just going on, or like I can think about like just like my feelings of being in the shower, like I can fucking do this shit. And then like all the cold water just on my face and like on my chest, and like the feeling that you have of just relief, or like sometimes I'll have nothing in my head. Just hearing the water and just feeling, oh my god, this shit's like fucking freezing, you know?
Right.
So I'll be there in my thoughts, and I'll be like there in like peace and just hearing the shower, and it's just like so calm, and then I turn it off, and then I'm like, I'm ready for the fucking day.
Yeah.
And then just fucking get my shit done.
Yeah, cold showers are cool, and there's different degrees to it. You don't have to if you don't want to take a full cold shower every time you take a shower.
You just
don't gotta do that
every single time.
But like when I first started doing it, when I wanted to get into it, I couldn't I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go in and put it all the way to the cold side. I couldn't do it. I put it like.
You have to ease it.
At first it's like, here's like the middle spot, and then I put it like this cold, like a minute later, put a little bit more, and then I ease my way there. And for the first few weeks or maybe even like months, I would only put it like 3/4 of the way, and then eventually I put it all, and it was tough. But you adapt to it, and like it's like
crazy.
So when I first started taking cold showers, I couldn't put it all the way down. But now I put it all the way down, no problem. So your body adapts to it, and like you were saying before, you know, feeling that cold water, especially in the morning, it literally gives you a burst of energy.
Like when you breathe in, you're like.
Yeah, and
it's just like it clears everything.
And you feel like you have so much power, and the way I like to describe it is I feel like a fucking man when I do that. but if you're a girl, do that shit too, because that's gonna make you feel more.
Feel like a she-male, or I don't know.
No, you'll
feel fucking powerful.
You'll feel like a strong man.
Like you're a superhero. You're a superhero.
You'll feel like a strong man or a strong woman. So essentially. Cold showers are great. Just I'd recommend it to everyone, and just trying it. Just trying like a week of experimentation with it. If it's not for you, don't do it. But at least try it. And the same thing with like meditation. Just try it.
That's with anything in life.
Yeah, when we're young,
try new things.
Yeah, when we're young, it's important to try new things to get a feel for different stuff and figure out what we're really into.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to. So there was this book. By Eckhart Tolle. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but this is one of the best books I've ever read in my entire life. It's called The Power of Now. And it's essentially about spiritual enlightenment, but the thing is, like, you don't have to be spiritual to apply these concepts to your life, and they can help everyone. So, you know how on Snapchat, it's like, you go in, and then it's like, oh, a year ago today you took a picture of this. So I was reading the book like a year ago, and I went on Snap today, and I saw that I took a picture of like a certain passage or something. So I just wanted to...
What's it called?
The Power of Now.
Okay.
So I wanted to just share like a few of these. And I didn't read them to Jack yet, so Jack hasn't heard these yet. And I just want to read these passages and then have us like just have a conversation about it, because this stuff is this is some deep shit, and it's good.
Definitely, you should save some for the next time.
Yeah.
Just
oh, yeah.
Let's keep it a little bit brief.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay. This is good. So this is the beginning of chapter 9. It says the title is Beyond Happiness and Unhappiness, There's Peace. And then so what he does with this book is he formats it in a way where he kind of since spirituality and the concepts he's talking about can sometimes be complicated to somebody who's not into it, he kind of asks like a question that like a reader would ask. So like for example here the question is there a difference between happiness and inner peace? Like he's putting it into perspective, so like that's what the reader would be asking. That's the question I'm asking as a reader. And then he says his response and tries to express his thoughts in the most clear and simple way he possibly can. So the question is, as a reader, is there a difference between happiness and inner peace? And he says yes. Happiness depends on conditions being perceived as positive. Inner peace does not. So, for example, what he's saying there is us feeling happiness depends on what our expectations of things are. So, I think of something. I want a certain situation to go a certain way, and if it goes that way, I'm happy. If it doesn't go that way, I may feel a negative emotion like sadness or anger. And then inner peace would be, okay, I have this expectation of I want it to go this way, but if it doesn't go that way, I'm okay, and I know everything's gonna be fine.
Basically, like with anything, like obviously, like you want to be the best you possibly can, but if you fail, don't be a sore loser, and kind of just be like, oh, I at least I tried, at least I did my best, and next time I'll do better. And that's the mindset you have to have.
Yeah, the most important thing, and I think failure, or I don't even like to call it failure, I just like to call them mistakes, because it's like, I feel like the only way you truly fail at something is if you're passionate about it and you're going for it, and then you start to make some mistakes or things get rocky, and then you give up. When you give up, I call that failure. Yeah, but if so, for example, so let's say I'm running and I have a goal of, let's just say this is when I first started running. I had a goal of, let's say, 5 miles, and one time I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do 5 miles, and I only get to 3. I could either be like, oh shit, I only got to 3, whatever, I can't get to 5 miles, there's no way I can do that. Or I can say, alright, I made progress, I only did a mile before, now I got to 3, and my goal is 5 miles, I didn't get it today, but you know what, I'm going to go for a run again tomorrow, and I'm going to look to improve my score to get it up to that eventually.
If you have that mindset of, oh, I can't do that,
then you're not
gonna fucking do it. Like it's like anything. Like, how about me studying for a test? I study for like 2 hours, right? That I get the test. I don't do that good. I'm like, oh, I'm not really good at this subject. Oh, I can't do this. I studied for 2 hours, and then like I have that mindset of just I'm not gonna do as good next time because I didn't do good on this test. But if you have the mindset, you know what? I'm going to prepare 2 days earlier. I'm going to study 2 hours a day, every single day, and then I'll become better and I'll get my good grade on the test. Yeah. That's how you have to think. You have to, everything takes practice. I mean, some people are different. Like, I know people who take tests, they don't study, they get good grades. But I'm different. I have to study for hours on hours to get the good grades that I want, you know? Because it doesn't really come easy for everyone. Everyone's different, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why you can't compare either.
So just, I'm the type of person who like I won't study and then I'll somehow get a decent grade.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that happens, but it does.
Yeah, I just have to keep on repeating myself. Like it's like going back to the past thing. If you keep on looking at your past and the things that happened in the past, you're just gonna expect it the next time. Because if you're just looking back to something like negative and it happened probably 5 to 10 times or even more, things like say something bad happens and you go to try it again and then you just expect yourself to fail. It's like a little kid. They want to learn how to ride a bike, and every single time they go to ride the bike, they either fall or crash into something, and then if they don't have someone supporting them or they just don't have the right mindset, they're gonna think like I'm not gonna go biking ever again. I'm afraid of it. I'm afraid that I'm gonna fall again, and I'm not gonna be able to ride a bike. And then if they keep on thinking that from their past, that they're just gonna expect they're gonna fall, and they're just gonna fall.
Yeah. And fear is a big thing in holding us back with stuff we want to do. Yeah. Fear is the worst. If fear itself can be good in some cases, it's like, you're at the edge of a cliff and you're scared that you're going to, if you're like, okay, if I walk farther and I walk off the cliff, I'm scared of that, and, that's fine because that's your body telling you if you walk off you're going to die. Yeah. But there's so many things that we want to do in life, but we don't because we're either scared of whatever the outcome is going to be, or we're scared about what other people are going to think, and we don't even take the chance. But the most important thing is to take that first step, and learning from. And if you make mistakes, that's completely fine. The important part is to learn from, be conscious of what you made the mistake of, and then improve on it, and notice your mistakes, and then make things better.
Seek discomfort.
Exactly. Yes Theory. They're best
Love
YouTube channel ever. Check them out.
Yeah, they're amazing. I love their content. They do a bunch of stuff. Like, there's this guy, I watched this episode, and he's always been afraid of heights. And ever since, like, he went on top of something, like, and he almost fell off, like, he was just petrified of, like, doing anything like that. They took him to cliff jumping into, like, water. And after them, like, kind of convincing him to, like, get, like, out of his fear and out of his comfort zone, he jumped. It was, like, 30, 40 feet in the air. It was insane. And it was funny because, like, there's a guy that was in front of him, and he just kept on jumping off until, like, the guy did it. Yeah. He kept on like jumping off, then like walking back up, and then jumping again, and then finally the guy was like, you know what? If he's doing it, I can do that shit too.
Right.
And then he just into the water.
And sometimes that's all you need is that extra little motivation, whether it's from whatever source it is. Maybe it's like a person that just allows you to take that extra step.
Obviously, like, well, not obviously, but just, it's always good to take advice from other people, but really think about something before you do it, because it can end up in something really dumb. Like, because like say like you have the you have good friends that support you all the time, but then like one time like they want you to seek your discomfort and stuff like that, but it's not in like a positive way. Like I know people like who done like stupid stuff with their friends because they thought that it was cool and they were gonna like be good from it, you know, because like it was gonna make them better. Obviously, like do things that think about what you're gonna do before you do it. Like my dad always tells me to use my fucking brain before I do something stupid. So before you take others' advice, kind of just think in your head like, is this the right thing to do? You know?
Yeah.
Because I know I've seen people like trespassing things, like say there's this abandoned house, right? This building or whatever, and these people went in, right? And next thing you know, the cop showed up, and those people got like in like handcuffs
Oh.
because they were just like, and then they got reported to their parents, and it was like a whole disaster because they made that stupid decision.
Yeah.
And they didn't really think about what they were doing before they did it.
And then
Obviously, you can take risks, but kind of just think about it a little bit before you do it.
It's important to think about things before you
Don't
do it.
just do it.
But also keep in mind that a psychologist actually said, there's a clinical psychologist who's been studying psychology for years, and he's like in his 70s now. He concluded that teenagers who take more risks are healthier. So think before you act, but also sometimes it's okay to do some stuff that's a little bit risky. So wait, I wanna move on to this next one. I'll just after this one I'll leave it at this. And then we'll get it. If I want to touch on some other passage another day, we'll do that. But we'll just leave it at this for now. So putting it into perspective, what I'm about to read, this sentence right here, is the question that the reader would ask the author, and then he answers. So the question is, this is kind of on the same page, continuing from the happiness and inner peace part. So the question is it not possible to attract only positive conditions into our life? If our attitude and our thinking are always positive, we would manifest only positive events and situations, wouldn't we? And then his response is, do you truly know what is positive and what is negative? Do you have the total picture? There have been many people for whom limitation, failure, loss, illness, or pain in whatever form turned out to be their greatest teacher. It taught them to let go of false self-images and superficial, ego-dictated goals and desires. It gave them depth, humility, and compassion. It made them more real. Whenever anything negative happens to you, there's a deep lesson concealed within it, although you may not see it at the time. So, from that last part, the way I see things is, no matter what happens, no matter what negativity happens, there's always some positive to it. Even sometimes in some situations there's a lot of positive that you're just overlooking, or sometimes it's just something small, but it's there. So for example, when I think back, I don't like to keep talking about like depression and stuff like that, but like I'm incredibly grateful that I went through that depression, because if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be the man who I am now. You know what I mean?
Man.
So that all of that negativity that I went through turned into something so positive that I'm so grateful for. So within every negative situation, there's always something positive, even if you don't see it at that moment. And like you said before, limitation, failure, loss, illness, pain, in whatever form, can be our greatest teacher.
Yeah, so I saw this documentary of this guy who he tried to commit suicide, and he jumped off this bridge, and he survived. And ever since then, he's become this motivational mentor person who talks in front of people and talks about how he like doing that, like obviously like that was like in his head, but now like he had a second chance, and he was able now he's like he really loves life, and he enjoys his life every single day, and he's just so happy that like he survived.
Yeah.
And, like he didn't die from that. Like
no.
he he's like his whole body. He has like scars and like everything, like a lot of things that are wrong with him, but he still enjoys life every single day.
Yeah.
So
No, I heard about that. I believe it's like, he was. I don't know if he was depressed or whatever it was. He was suicidal and stuff. And the second he was like so
in regret, like
yeah. But at first he was so
frustrated.
He was so frustrated at life, and he was so for committing suicide.
Yeah.
He's like, I know I want to do this 100%, and then the second he takes that step off, he goes, oh no, this is not what I want. And most people don't get that second chance, and that really sucks. But this guy is a perfect example of some guy who got a second chance, not even by his choice, and he took it, and he turned his life around. And that's when we get that second chance in life, it is so important for us to take it.
Yeah.
And that I haven't watched that documentary, but the fact that happened, and then he changed his life like that, that's fucking amazing to me.
Yeah. I respect people like that.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So I think that's something to just wrap this shit up.
Yeah.
I think it's like a sealed deal right here.
This is a good episode. A lot of deeper stuff.
Yeah. And I think next episode that one's gonna be fucking amazing, bro. That one's gonna be dope.
We can dive even deeper into
if you guys like learned anything or have anything like to say about what he read in the book, just like tell us like your perspective about it, because that's something that I'd like to take and like learn about yourself.
And we definitely we want your feedback, positive or negative, whatever it is, on what you guys like about what we're doing, what you don't like, or if there's certain concepts that we're not touching on right now and you think we should, and that you would like to hear, and let us know, because we're open minded. We want to listen to everything.
And if you want to be on here, just let us know.
Big moves are coming. We're happening soon. We're having some people on. We're gonna have some special guests.
Good people getting on here. It's gonna be so dope.
A lot of different perspectives on things. A lot of new concepts. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. All right. Let's fucking go.
Another great episode.
Thank God we didn't miss that. I'd be fucking pissed.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys.
I'll see you guys later.
Peace.